back in Universal, getting the most overpowered characters. Next update is pretty close, so I'm gonna try to get the best ones. Gonna start off with Vegeta. So for Vegeta, I pre-grinded already. I already have everything, I believe, to maximize. So Vegeta being actually the best hero in the game, the highest DPS in the entire game. That's his stats. His dupes, I'm gonna get him in a minute. Let's evolve. So there's a sound. Alright, let's evolve. I still didn't have him because his earpiece thingy was like insanely hard to get. That's first evolve. Second evolve makes him a boundless character. You need, the main things you need is absorption mark and boundless orb. You need 2 of this, the hardest thing to get. You're gonna struggle with this. And you need the mythic thingy. Oh, I've been listening. I mean, that's how you get the boundless one. There. He already has a trait since I got it like some time ago now. Where is he? Right here. The best hero in the game. First, let's feed him. Because boundless units take so long to feed is actually insane. About the few, I can just give him secrets. That's really good. There. That's what he needs. Maximum. Alright. Already done with it since I grinded before. I'm gonna just give it to his damage. Nice. And his best gears. This is a warrior. I mean, this is a unit with everything. He needs his like gear to like maximize him, of course, since he is the fuse warrior. And I put it on damage. I gave him all his thingy. So let's go in the game and check him out. He costs 2,000 to place down. Let's place insane range actually. Let's place him right there. Let's maximize the money. Let's look at units passive. Right here. Alright. That's that hurt. His first passive for every continuous hit on the same enemy, 10% damage from all sources, up to 30% on crit. Oh no, it's just the first passive. So every time he hits the same enemy, he gets 10% more damage. If he hits them 3 times, he gets 30% more damage from all sources. I don't know what that means. On crit, applies this effect for 70% of his damage over 5 ticks. That's insane. Is that a debuff? I can't tell. Final energy wave. Uses ability. Oh, use the active ability to release a massive line AoE attack that you can normally aim. Huh? Not normally, manually aim. What does that mean? Wait, we'll see. 30% more damage per second for 20 seconds. Activity cooldown is 140. Third passive, when a stun or a debuff is happening to this unit, ignore the stun or the debuff, release a counter attack for 80% at the strongest enemy in range, and plus 50% he gets 50 damage for 30 seconds after he gets stunned, and he counters for 80%. That's actually insane. Fuse value might. Every attack follow with 100%, 70% chance to trigger the follow-up attack, a second attack. Alright. We see what his passive does. Let's start upgrading. So, tiny circular on placement, upgrade, up to 34,000, upgrade, 61,000 every 5 seconds. He becomes a bigger circle AoE. And now he just shoots like a key blast. Upgrade, 87,000 every 5 seconds, upgrade, 139,000 every 5 seconds. And now for the big upgrade for 25,000, full AoE, 217,000 every 11 seconds, full AoE, hybrid. That's actually insane. And he's like, keep attacking, 11 seconds don't matter. Look at this, like 1. Yeah, that's not 11 seconds. His like follow-ups are insane. And last upgrade, it becomes a circular again. 392,000 every 11 seconds, but like, as you know, like the follow-ups, right? Alright, so the buffing part, 482,000. But his crit, look at the crit. Where is the crit? Where is the crit? Where is the crit? Crit rate 85%. Crit damage. He's insane. I would take him to the stage. Should I take? Alright, let's try him out on the hardest stage of the game. Alright, wait, we gotta go on. That dying really quick, man. He is getting mental. Slowly but surely, he's getting popped. Does he get advantage on here? Wind. Enemies are wind. He does not get advantage. We use his ability on the end boss. He is killing them though. He is soloing. Super damage. He's getting pretty high up here. Some more. He's not where he left down, but that's actually squealy. Oop, he got sent back. He got pulled back. Alright, so the next one is the last one, and I use the ability and see how that does. It's open. Maximizer. Alright. And that's his last one, so I'm gonna use this and put it like that. Like this. Yep, attack. Your dog, attack. I believe it's fizzy. What? Bro. Alright, yeah. He actually melts the mouse, nice. I don't know. I should go on now, right? There we go. Yeah, I got the ultimate sword, nice. Shiny. Still can't get the shiny going. Alright. He could solo it. So the second on the list is Gogeta. First Vegito, now it's Gogeta. And for Gogeta, I have him and I pre-grinded right here. So I already popped the best trade on him when he came out. First, let's fix the stats again. Alright, there. SSS stat. You're gonna go up to like SS since the game doesn't allow SSS. Not the best, but it's something. So he needs the jacket, fusion jacket that you can get from the portal shop. Don't know what is it? It's right here, the ultimate shop or something like that. You can get it from right here for 1,000. I need to buy some other items there. Let me use that. Alright. That's his first evolve. His second is a little more harder to do. There. Evolve once. And now I can evolve it again. There. So for this evolve you need Angel Born in Hell Unrivaled Fragment pieces to make him that. I'm missing a couple of them, so let me go. I'm gonna get them quick. Gamer shop right here. So I need 100. There's one more done, and I can buy one more from the raid shop. This one right here. You can get it for 1,500. Little piece 2. And the last one is from a legend stage. Took actually longer than expected. As you can see, I got 2 trunks from that stage. So that's a Gogeta. Alright. Let's max level him. So does this. Oop. Let's give him that. Alright. Max. Right here. Now feed. I'm gonna just give him a food item. Or I don't think I have to. Max level them with the food. And I'll just put the stat points in damage. So I can only Discord, this is his best gear. So Fuse Warrior top with crit damage, Fuse Warrior bottom with damage, and Warlord hat with elemental damage. He is 1,200 to place down, cheaper than Vegito. Here's your information right here. So first ability, all active does 20% damage in a circular AoE. That always D damage. What does that mean? Changes the enemy type to the normal enemy if a cooldown. Bro, yo, can I see half of the passive? If something there cooldown of 180 seconds. What is this? I'm seeing half of the passive. Oh, where's the full passive then? What the? Alright, I guess I'm gonna just read half then. Unlike this unit damage will increase by half of the amount of crit rate. All allies units owned by the player and his range have if all units in range have a total of 150 crit damage. I don't know what that means. Light speed reflexes. While attacking, when this unit is attacking, it cannot be stunned. So it cannot be stunned if it's attacking. Since hitting enemies will cleanse allies towers in range of any debuffs or stun done on it. Global cooldown of 10 seconds. And before being able to re-cleanse. So every 10 seconds you can cleanse the ally. Purified energy. On placement, this unit will not be able to do crit. Not be able to crit, and will always do 1.1x damage no matter what their element is. That's good. No type advantage on disadvantage, so it's like true damage. It's just true damage. It just does fair damage to everyone. Doesn't have a debuff or doesn't have advantage to anyone. Unrivaled mark effects for all players owned by this. Oh man, I'm reading Chinese, man. All units owned by this player, if tag is fused, 50% more damage and 50% more crit damage. If the tag is Super Warrior, plus 30% damage and minus 10% ability cooldown. If element is light, 20% damage and crit rate 5%. Only aura. On ally follow-up, this unit will give any ally units doing follow-up attacks in his range 30% damage for 10 seconds. So, yo, he's just rocking with Vegito. He's buffing Vegito. Vegito does follow-ups, if I'm not wrong. And he cleanses allies from stuns and doesn't let stuns happen to himself. And his increased damage will increase by half of the amount of crit rate. All allied units owned by this player. So his damage will increase by ally units? What does that mean? So his crit rate, base crit rate is 50. Crit damage is 300. Oh, 300. That's crazy. Alright, let's upgrade. So here's a tiny circular avion placement doing 2800. Upgrade doing 6500 every 5 seconds. Upgrade doing 17,000 every 5 seconds. Upgrade doing 28,000 every 5 seconds. Upgrade doing 43,000 every 5 seconds. Upgrade 70. Wait, I forgot to see the other animation. Huh? My bad. Yeah, alright. Kicking, assault. Upgrade, and this is his next attack. Goes in, smack. Again, goes in, multi-hit, upgrade. Right here, 72,000 in 5 seconds, and last upgrade, he gets Bing Blast. So, is his last attack being Bing Blast, doing 168,000 every 7 seconds. I'm gonna lie, 6.98 is almost 7, so he does get this. That does 200% of the damage in range, a circular area that always does 100% true damage. Changes the enemy type to a normal enemy if it has a modifier. That's really good ability. So if there's flying enemies, he can just change them and make them just normal enemies. So as you can see, 50% crit damage, right? That's his max, that's his animation. Enchanted Kamehameha, bruh. I can't give him seem to give him the buff, but all the crit rate buff goes to the damage, I guess. You see that? 312,000 every 6 seconds. 300,000. That's crazy. That's really good. Alright, compared to Vegito, right? Let's put Vegito right here. Vegito getting crazy buffed here. Let's give Vegito the same buff. And then you see 65 crit rate. Let's max them. Compared to Vegito, I don't know. Oh no, he does more DPS than Vegito. Whoa, 380k with 50% crit chance, and look at the crit damage, 400k, and he does damage over time. Bro, the crit damage. Okay, he does 400,000, and every there's a 50% chance of him doing 3.4x of that damage. That's insane. No, this unit is actually insane. And there's a ability that gives him like a nuclear buff. Compared to him, right? He does 45,000 every 12 seconds with 65% crit chance and doing 2.6x of his damage. I think it's because of the less cooldown he has, that's why. But yeah, he's insane. Okay, that's the second best unit. Alright, I'm back. And Gohan is ready. So he evolved twice, I believe. So this is first evo. You need the sword that drops from the stage. And I gave him AA, it's gonna become S, then it's gonna become SS on the next one. So that's first evolve. Second evolve, you need this. Oh, I'm missing one. I'm gonna just get that. You need Boundless Orb. It's pretty easy to get in. And you need more swords and more glasses. And I mean, you need glasses, not more, since I have the strongest, not the strongest, one of the strongest Gohans with double ruler retreat. So it's gonna become SS, SSS, SS. Perfect. Ooh, I should open animation for that one. Here's my balance. Right there. Ooh, bro, I need the shiny so bad. I can't get shiny though. Alright, let's start max him. I'm gonna just give him one of this. Max level. Nice. Max fuse system, right? So, there. Speed will go on, and he is max ascended. I'm gonna just give the stat to damage. This is a gear I gave him. This is a gear he is good with. It says on the stats, I guess, on Discord. So Fuse Warrior with damage, Fuse Warrior with damage, and Warlord hat with elemental damage, and little buffs with everything, you know. That's his best. Pretty big. Oh, he is a hell unit. Oh, you're just placing there. Animations. Let's see his passive. First passive, this unit will gain 10% of total damage of all units owned by the player within range. Wait, what? Oh, 10% damage for each character in range. Oh no, just owned. Owned by the player within range. Oh, I get it. So multiple placement of characters is gonna get 10% of that. This buff can scale up to 100. So 100, I mean not 100, 10 characters in his range. That is gonna give him 100% damage boost. I think I got 10 characters in this range. I'm gonna show that. On stun or debuff, the character will get 30% crit rate for 20 seconds, and his AoE circle is gonna be 30 times bigger. Not 30, 30% bigger for 20 seconds. Second passive, when this unit's damage is higher than the enemy's health, deal the leftover damage to... So, it's gonna do the damage. Whatever damage it does more damage like overkilling the enemy. The rest of the damage is gonna be passed on to the enemy behind it, I guess. Right? I'm wrong. Surrounding enemies, yeah. Plus 15% crit damage. Cap to 150 crit damage. That's very nice. Every character so crit is crazy. Earth of the Beast. When any unit gets a debuff, or this unit gets a stun, plus 150 damage permanently. Permanently is crazy. That's insane. Plus 30% hyper shield damage for 20 seconds for every boss, every base stack lost, 75% more damage. So if you let 2 enemies go on purpose, it's actually crazy. For just damage boost, that's hard to do. Last passive, Super Blue Beam. Deals 500 damage to all enemies on the map. This item ability will always land as a crit hit. And you can use it every 120 seconds. That's actually insane. The amount of buffs he gets is just insane. He gets buffs for being character in his range. He gets buffed if characters get stunned. He gets buffed for overkilling enemy. He gets buffed for everything. Even your base life go down, he gets buffed. Nah, he's actually insane. So first attack is a line AoE, as you can see. He does 6,000 every 4 seconds. Upgrade. He does 18,000 every 4 seconds. Upgrade. He does 42,000 every 4 seconds. Explosive Flash. Upgrade. He's a circle AoE. Not a multi-hit, as you can see, he takes a shield. He attack. Oh, he is a multi-hit. Does 2 attacks. Upgrade to 78,000 every 5 seconds. He gets a new attack. Explosive Beam. Line AoE again. Let's not forget he is a air unit, so he has to be placed on like the aerial stuff, and that's kind of bad, not gonna lie. But either way, so he does 125,000 every 5 seconds. But don't forget the crit. I want you to keep remembering the crit, since crit 300 damage is insane. 3x of his damage. Let's upgrade. That is not his max, so 188,000 every 5 seconds. 5.7 seconds. But 445,000 every 3.3 seconds. 20% chance of hitting a crit, and he does 3x of that damage then. Pretty fast. Oh, look at the DPS. Look at the DPS. That's way more than Vegito. Oh, the DPS is crazy. GoodDay is buffing him, giving 33% damage. And me placing all those characters in his range, that's giving him a buff too. So he's getting like 400 buffed. So Super Beam, right? His ability. 445,000 every 3.3 seconds. 20% chance of hitting a crit, doing 3x of his own damage. And his DPS is more, I think, more than Vegito and Gogeta combined. I don't know if it's that good though, right? I mean, I'm just judging by the DPS, but he's insane. He's insane. So his ability, right? Let's use it. He does have a cutscene. Let's go. Let's go. It's like a nuke, hits the entire map, and guarantee his crit with it. So 3x of his damage, whatever his damage is. Now we're back in the lobby for one last character. So yeah, I'm gonna get Wave Chaser. I'll take the best trade on it, but Duplicator is her best trade. But if I get like Ruler, I'll take it. I got a couple of rerolls, not that crazy amount. Let's go for Duelist. I'm calling Duplicator. It's Duelist though. Let me be sure with that. Yeah, right here. Best trade is Duelist for the highest DPS possible. Ooh, Duplicator. Let's go. Not Duplicator, Duelist. Right here. I think Evolving. Wait, what? She needs Sharky. Surfboard. Oh, right there. It's pretty cheap. Pretty easy to evolve. Super easy to evolve, not gonna lie. Duelist trait, like that's the easiest thing you can do to get. Alright. I'll just feed the other one too. The other one is useless. Alright. Let's feed that one. Just give him all my thingies. The game asking for so much. We maximize it. Let's just give it the food. I'll grind for a new one. Alright. According to Discord saying what's the best for her. So crit damage as the top and the bottom the damage one, I guess. And elemental damage for the last one. She just requires Warlord items if you can get it. I'm gonna just give all to damage. Okay, I think one right now might be chilling. Let me not. Make it two exploding with noising. Alright. Let's see the passive. Bro, I cannot read like this. The unit's attacks are too much. Let's put a 1. Chill with the attacks. And why is she attacking? Yo, remove your animations. On attack, apply soaked for 7.5 seconds. When applying soaked, enemies take 20% damage. Enemies are soaked for 50%. Good support. And enemy take 20%. So really good support. Wave Breaker's Instinct. When hitting an enemy with soaked, follow up with 2. With attack 2. We'll see that. On takedown, with soaked, plus 0.5 crit damage up to 40% crit damage. And 0.25 crit rate up to 25 crit rate. So as you keep attacking, she gains more crit damage and crit rate. Night Soul Transformation. On takedown, gain 10% Night Soul charge. On full Night Soul, enter Night Soul form for 30 seconds. That's a Night Soul you guys can see right there. You get 10%, so 10 kills and she gets Night form for 30 seconds. And this buff she gets 30% more damage, 15 range, and minus 10 plus SPM. During Night form, X2 damage to enemies with burn. Wait, burn? Night form stays for 30 seconds. You could have guessed it. Take X2 damage with burn. She doesn't apply burn though. Do we need a burn character with this? I didn't know that. Maybe she's up there because of damage, right? Okay, wait. Before placing all of them, let me upgrade. So 1600 every 4.8 seconds, 4800 every 4000 every 5.5 seconds. Since that's changing. 6800 every 5.5 seconds, 10,000 every 6 seconds, 12,000 every 6 seconds. Oh wait, I'm not looking at the attacks. I forgot about that one. She lost the buffs. Oh, my bad. So this is Butter Up. So first is the line area, right? She goes up to a circle area now. Throwing something. I cannot tell what is that. Alright, whatever that is. Upgrade, she gets 4,000 every 6 seconds. She gets a new move, and it becomes a bigger circle area. Is she just good for support? I can't tell. And last upgrade, she does 30,000 every 7.5 seconds with, I mean, crit will go up. It'll go up to like 60 or something. And crit damage, where is the crit damage? Oh, 300 crit damage. 3x of what damage she's doing. So 3x, that's 90,000. 90,000. And that's not only it. If she's 3 placements, alright, so all of them got the buff. I mean, you can see 30,000 every 6.8 seconds with 100% crit chance. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not the full buff. 40,000. 100% crit, so that's not even 40. That's 3x of what she's doing. That is 820,000. More than 120 plus thousand with one character alone. And that's 3 of her. And she's debuffing the enemy, so they're taking like 10% more damage, if I'm correct. Actually, 20% more damage. And enemies are soaked and they're 50% slower. Really good support, not gonna lie. Really good support, at the same time really good unit. I actually want to test it on a hot stage to like see the maximize how good she is. Let's take it to a good stage. So yeah, 100% crit. You're just guaranteed to do crits, and whatever damage you see is just 3.5x. This boss came out, he has ton of shields. My guy bone with shields. Bro, what the? Yo. There was bone freaking with shields. What the heck was that? I just placed down Sinbad right there, since Sinbad does give us support. I'm gonna lie. Not like the support you're thinking. Support with like a buff. Look at this. Right here. Any other unit in his range gets crit damage and crit range. So I mean crit percent. That's why I brought him. He alone is killing this boss. Overshield might be the bad thing for her, but when she gets to like real HP, he might cook. But she is beating him. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I got fused earrings. Nice. Yeah, she could solo in. She will be really good for water stages. I want to just see how good she does. Alright, that's a character. Now I'm good with more elements than that one. Water element. Oh, I'm kind of really good with it. GG's.